Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be a good one between the New York Giants and the Seattle Seahawks. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Well, Coach, no rain in the forecast. That's the good news, but it is a chilly December day here in the Northwest at CenturyLink Field in Seattle. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the New York Giants and the Seattle Seahawks. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They'll be led out by the man who proclaims to be from a whole pack of Badgers. Came into the league back in 2012, Russell Wilson.
He had the numbers of a game last week that if you win, you talk about him being a gritty guy, managing the game, getting it done. But they lost. So obviously 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown pass, that's not going to be good enough. Got to get that changed around.
What? 380! Mike is 59. Mike to 59. Hey, tight.
Play action. Now Wilson. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. 11 yards there and a first down for Seattle.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
And we take a look at the offense for the Seahawks.
And wide receiver Tyler Lockett continues to improve as a route runner and a playmaker downfield. But let's not forget, his main use, kick returner. Knows how to break open a game in that area as well.
Four yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
Now it's Wilson. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, 3rd down. A look now at the starters for the Giants defensively. They were very strong last week in that win over Cleveland.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, do you now decide that I can't throw the ball against this team and try and run it like crazy? Or do you challenge them? This is going to be fun.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Here's Wilson. And that will be incomplete.
Wilson's pass intended for Will Disley.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. $51 yards on the punt there. And the Giants' drive will start from deep in their territory with a 1st and 10. So well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
Hey, watch this. Hey, lock it. Check three.
The first carry for the former Nittany Lion. This is Saquon Barkley. And he's taken down, but able to get this up to the 20-yard line. 13 yards, good for a Giant 1st down.
You can script and diagram plays all you want, but no one really envisions something like that happening this early in the game. How about that run to get things started? Didn't he win NFC Player of the Week last week?
Yeah, he was on fire a week ago, and what a start to this one.
Yeah, no sign of him cooling down at all.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And that'll wind up incomplete. Trying to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored. You give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace. A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down.
Let's go. Hey, Haywood.
He'll drop to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt.
Push him back.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. That's complete to Disley, the tight end. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the 1st quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. 1st quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, and you don't give up big chunks of yardage.
Trying to force it to Allen, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 14, and he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Giants touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but if the ball's in the air, they treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Aldrich Rosas on for the extra point. It's up, it's good, and the Giants have a 7-0 lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Russell Wilson now gears up to lead the offense again. And looking to erase his memory bank from his opening drive a moment ago that ended in a pick-6 for the first points of the ball game.
And in my experience, a lot of quarterbacks, after throwing a pick-6, the first thing they want to do is fire another one and get those points back immediately. But what really helps you get back in sync is a good, long, methodical drive, mixing the run and the pass, tamp things down a little bit.
First down, Seattle, 16 yards, the gain there.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills, you want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. First down, Seattle, 16 yards, the gain there.
And the game just keeps evolving. Big guys running those corner routes, so difficult to cover.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Check curls, check curls, check curls.
That's complete to DK Metcalf. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that. And that's what he did.
And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 16. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident and keep flinging it. I'll just figure there's something wrong with the football.
This one into the hands of Metcalf. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do in that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
And only about a yard there as he takes it from the 9 to the 8. Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. Now Wilson. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. DK Metcalf, his 5th touchdown now on the year, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. As the Giants head back out there, let's take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. As we count down through the final few weeks of the season, these guys have nothing to sweat about. They've clinched the top spots to the road to the Super Bowl. It runs through them.
And there's a natural inclination here, partner, to say, okay, A lot of guys aren't going to play down the stretch. We've clinched. We're ready to go. But there's another part where you say, let's show the league why we're the #1 team. Maybe you intimidate someone. Maybe you dissuade them from thinking that they can beat you in the playoffs by going out and being really impressive down the stretch.
Absolutely, and you want to take momentum into the playoffs. There's also pride on the line for these guys individually.
Yeah, momentum and pride. Yeah, I'd make room for them and put them both in uniform.
And give him about 3 as he gets it down to the 22-yard line. The excellent play last time is followed by a much more routine gain of 3. Here's a 2nd and 7. And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32. Bobby Wagner, the former second-rounder out of Utah State, with a sack. They were able to win last week despite him being sacked 4 times. They might need to tighten the reins a little bit, or this one may not end in another victory.
You're right about that. They can't count on just winning the game no matter what happens. They can't let the accumulation of hits and harassment in the pocket get to their quarterback. Got to stop that, give him clean lanes to throw the football, and they'll have a better chance to win again this week.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So a good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the throw.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow.
Either
not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
Let's go, baby.
The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Here's a throw that's taken in out of the backfield. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. And he'll get nothing there. Stopped right at the line as that will wind us down to the end of this first quarter play. 10-7 our score after 1 right here on EA Sports.
Check, 59. Man out.
They go play action with Wilson. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it.
Let's go.
Here's the Giant offense now as they get ready to take over here. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now a first carry for their fullback. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Brandon, you know, we talk about having wrinkles in a game plan. That was a fold right there. How about that play? Being able to change things up. You think anyone else on the team's going to get the ball, and in that situation, they surprise everyone and give it to their big guy.
Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a first down. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 as they're down to the 29-yard line. He'll look to throw. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're either throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, no takes to start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
No, now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Go!
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he's going to go down again. Jadeveon Clowney make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
And there's a work of art right there. Out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Excellent placement, and off that bounce, Charles, I didn't know where it was going to go. It can be an inexact science as to where they place it, but they say the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know how they really determined that. And let's face it, at the end of that play, one side's going to be happy, the other team's going to be unhappy. So, what do they do, shorten the hypotenuse? I mean, how do they figure that out? You know that stuff. You're the smart guy.
No, that's you, partner. On first down, Boykin. Well, that gives them a little room, but not much. A gain of 2 to the 5.
Well, not a game that you're going to go crazy about, but when you start at your own 2-yard line, any type of space is good for the offensive guys.
Yeah, you just can't go backwards from here. They did it. Now we'll see if they can keep it on schedule here on 2nd down. And, oh, my goodness, what a catch at the 6.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Single.
On 3rd down, Wilson. Wide open receiver, complete. And brought down, but not before reaching the 25. That'll pick up the first down for Seattle on a gain of 18.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
Here's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Wilson, blitz coming, and down he goes.
Waiting.
2 minutes remaining in the first half. 10-7, our score. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Oh, he's going to go ahead and field it from the 3-yard line. Nearly a huge return, as it is still a very good one. 24 yards. And it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. 2nd and 12 after the first down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. Finds his tight end Ingram. A gain there of 21 yards.
A gain of 21 yards. And the Giants first down.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. 13 yards, good for a Giant first down. And he is the NFC reigning offensive player of the week. You got to think, all the guys that take the field each and every week, that's not an easy award. Always has to feel good to grab it.
It has to feel great because it separates you, at least for a week, amongst your peers. And for him to separate again, he has to have the same type of a game. That means being explosive off the line of scrimmage and catching everything that comes his way.
And he finds a man with a crossing route. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. This quarterback now 8 of 11 in this first half. He's got it 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down. Got out of the pocket. Didn't look like he had anybody open, Charles, so just gets rid of it.
And a good play by him. If no one's open and you don't have a running lane that you want to take, make the right choice. Get rid of it. Live to fight another down.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Go. That's me. Hey, check mark. Watch the
2nd and 10. And his throw is incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions. 3rd down here and 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range. So now you don't take any unnecessary risks, but you try and find a way to get back to what you were doing earlier in the drive in order to finish this one off.
Mike 55. There we go.
Back to throw here. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Jadeveon Clowney in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. Rosa's kick is good. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. So a big play before the end of the half to get him into this spot, and they cash in with 3.
How about the 1-2 to the solar plexus on that one? The big play, the field goal, not much time left on the clock. That's the way to go into the half.
And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish, as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. We'll get started up at FedEx Field in our nation's capital. And as they approach halftime, it's the Redskins who have the lead in that one. Will Greer, responsible for the lone touchdown in the game thus far, as he's thrown a touchdown pass. From there, let's head west to see what's going on with the Raiders at home in Oakland. And they trail the visiting Chiefs in that one. Patrick Mahomes killing it. 3 touchdown passes. Finally, let's get to Philadelphia. Check on the Eagles at home at Lincoln Financial Field. And they were winners in their ball game over the visiting Dallas Cowboys. Sony Michel, the game of his life, 5 touchdown runs. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Second half ready to get rolling. The Giants with a lead, and they are set to receive this kick. This will be fielded at the 6. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Here again comes the captain of this offense leading his crew back out there now. He's playing pretty well. I don't think it's necessarily him changing up something he's doing, but that O-line, they've got to protect him better.
They do. They get.
On the ready.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. They keep it with Barkley on first down. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. First down, Giants on a pickup of 14. A lot of running backs, a little bit of a disadvantage when you start talking MVP. Might not be the case this year. You think he's got a shot, don't you?
I do. I think he's got more than a shot. But what he's going to need here down the stretch this late in the season, he needs that big closing game, that game that we're all going to reflect on and go, oh, my goodness, did he put up a number, let's say, 200 plus?
It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4. 2nd and 4. On the move to his left. 5 yards on the scramble, and that's enough to pick up the first.
That's something we have not seen him do to this point, and that's take the ball, tuck it, and run.
Exactly right. His first carry of the game. I guess he picked a good time to do it.
He certainly did. Not only did he have the element of surprise, he's making sure he's judicious.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Now back to throw. And that's off the mark, incomplete. This defense tried to do its part, active hands on that play, but their offense hasn't given them much to work with.
So they're not going to worry about it. On their side of the ball, all they're concerned about, can they create some scoring opportunities and help out that offense?
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Back to throw. That's going to be caught. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Ready, set. Check Mike 54. Mike 54. Let's go one more. Ready?
And Barkley will try to punch it in. And he is in. Touchdown, Giants. Saquon Barkley with another touchdown, number 24 on the year. And the Giants are able to add on to their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice two-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
Rosas now to add the PAT. And the lead is now 13. So an 8-play drive covering 80 yards. And the rookie Saquon Barkley, the one who finishes things off with a touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Here comes the Seahawks offensive unit. They'll have it first to begin the third. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Now a throw here on 2nd down, and that's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Catch number 44 on the year. It's a first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 10 yards and a Seattle first down.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Watch the curl.
They'll run on first down. Boykin. And he's got this down to the 35. It's a gain of 12, first down Seahawks.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far in this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. They'll run it now out of the gun. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 10 yards and a Seattle first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
57 to Mike. Watch the slant. Watch the slant. Check.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on run downs. It confuses the blocking assignments and doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Here we go. All day defense. All day.
Call it no gain on the dump off, and it's 3rd down. Now the old pass completion for no gain, not something you want to call up out of the playbook too often.
Yeah, most offensive coordinators don't have that on their play sheet, so they've got to go back and scramble after this one. But right now, with what they're telling receivers about making sure you take care of the ball in open field, sometimes the fighting for extra yardage doesn't come as a result. That and good tackling can lead to no yards gained.
And he'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark him down at the 9. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a 1st down.
And a nice pickup there. He gets about 5 down to the 4-yard line. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is when force meets force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off. A nice job forcing the contact and forcing the incompletion.
Yeah, Coach Ford would have loved that play.
From 4 yards out, as his guys are back within a single score. On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
The timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route ordinarily is probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it was a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score. Fairbairn good with the extra point, and the lead will shrink to 6. So that drive, 12 plays in length. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take this across the 25. A couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And New York set to take the field. They were able to extend their lead with an opening drive touchdown here in the 3rd quarter, but that just got matched a moment ago.
So we know that what they discussed at the half worked. Now, what are the counters to that, right? You don't just run the same things over and over. Some do, but many will also show something and then come back with something else to keep the defense off balance.
Pretty good results here on the 1st down run as he takes this forward for about 6. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Now Saquon Barkley. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. It's a giant 1st down on a gain of 16. So a solid run by Saquon Barkley, and another 1st and 10 here. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's out of bounds, but not before a big pickup that time on what's going to wind up being the final play of the 3rd quarter. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Giants with the football and also the lead as we get set to start quarter number 4. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 24.
Hey, exit.
They'll set up to throw. They'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. 2nd and 5. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
They'll look to throw here. Got a man, Slayton. And he will have the 1st down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line.
Down. 90 Wolf. Check. Walk before.
They'll look to throw again. And he will take it all in for a giant touchdown.
Great job. Touchdown for Dave.
A 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Giants are able to add on to their lead. The Giant offense going to stay on the field as they'll go for 2.
And this is what coaches talk about, never being satisfied. No matter what the lead, always trying to increase it. You never know what can happen in this NFL.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. Protection was great. He had time to set up a campsite. But in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. But condensed near the goal line on a 2-point conversion, all that exit, there's not any extra field. So it kind of closes in on them, and that allows you to cover a little bit better.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, run, pass. Defense on the... Oh, he tries to get it to Metcalf, but it's intercepted. Picked off at the 33. And he will score. Touchdown, Giants. And that one will pretty much erase any hopes of a fourth quarter comeback.
With emphasis, interception, return for touchdown. Door closed, locked, reinforced.
Rosas to add the extra point. And that one makes this a 19-point game. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. This is taken at his 4. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 24. There's Wilson. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off at the 25. And he will score. Touchdown, Giants. So a dangerous pass over the middle into zone coverage, and it bit him hard.
And what's really difficult when you throw it in that direction and versus that zone, that means the linebackers have gotten to their spot, gotten their heads back around, and they can see the quarterback and everything in front of them. And they took big advantage of it, went the other direction. Excellent blocking, and picked up a touchdown.
PAT up and good by Rosas. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This one taken from the 7. Then he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And for the moment, they're sitting pretty in possession of that number 2 seed and, more importantly, perhaps that first-round bye.
But they have to clinch it, don't they?
Yeah.
That's the key, right? So, in a sense, the playoffs have started. They've got to go ahead and get this thing done. Otherwise, it's a different road, and you really don't want to be at the mercy of other teams and their results.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Wilson throwing the out route incomplete. That's Wood. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. And the Seahawks on 3rd down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. So much for the run on 3rd and 1. Instead, it's a big chunk in the pass game. 1st down. So the drive takes them into Giants territory now. 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. This throw complete. Wilson finding Lockett. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 12, 1st down Seahawks. Wilson going to lead his guys up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. Now Wilson going to throw again. That's complete to Disley, the tight end. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And that is incomplete. Defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete passer we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game, and that was a big talk, both in his town and amongst his team. How do we get the passing game going? So big credit to them, holding them under 200 today.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And this is going to be covered. Up by the Giants. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number, kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score.
And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Saquon Barkley, his 25th touchdown, tying Emmitt Smith for the 5th most in one season as his guys continue to pour it on. There are several elements to a well-executed screen pass. This one resulted in a touchdown. It had all of those elements.
Yeah, you're so right, because you really need the rush to almost get to the quarterback, almost get to the passer. Then you've got to get the ball thrown perfectly, whether it's to the running back, the wide receiver, wherever the screen guy is. And, of course, the blocking has to form in front to get him downfield for the touchdown.
They certainly made quick work of that, ultra-quick work. One of the fastest drives you'll ever see, just one play resulting in the touchdown. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Now Wilson. And he finds Howard complete. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
And he lost the football. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away.
Running into the kicker, defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Oh, he'll field it in the end zone. Well, that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like
nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Following the fumble recovery, it's Wilson. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you make curl a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around and make the play on the football.
Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They've got it 1st and goal as they look to punch in a late score. Now it's Wilson. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
And when you got your backs in the shadow of your goal line, you've got to be physical in that situation because there's not a whole lot of space, not a lot of wild plays that can be run there.
That's put up or shut up time. Defensively, nice job just to make sure they didn't complete it on that play. Now, here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
All right, Captain, it's batten down the hatches time defensively. Dodged 2 pass attempts to the end zone. Now what do you think they're going to try and dial up on 3rd and goal?
Well, knowing them and knowing what we just seen, I think they're throwing it again, don't you?
I think you have to. I think in this situation, you've kind of run out of your running plays.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off down at the 2. And a great return as he's up close to the 40-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. Now it looks like he'll throw here. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead. But I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
Give him 32 on the play. He'll look to throw. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles. It certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That is caught by Josh Oliver, the former San Jose State Spartan. Now the Giants will use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. They'll drop the throw. That's complete to Slayton. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. The Giants going to burn their 3rd and final timeout. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. 2nd and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. Out of the shotgun, they run with Barkley, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that's leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
This one taken from the 7. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this? And now here is another interception. Picked off at the 47. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line.
Everybody ready? Hey, Alpha, now! Let's go. Pick it up, G.
Mike 55! Mike 55!
I'm coming for you, son. I'm coming for you, son. Right up.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. He's going to fire one deep left sideline. And it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end. But now this game is over. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Giants, they move ever closer to the perfect regular season as they run things to 14-0. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Seattle, this was basically just an exhibition game for them as they'd already clinched home field advantage. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to L.A. to take on the Rams. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.